I'm Yashima White Azilove, and this is Women Who Empower. This week, multi-generational households. You know, there are many cultures throughout the world who appreciate what we call extended family. But somehow as Americans, we grow up, we leave the family nest, and we never think of what life would be like if we had to live under the same roof as mom and dad again. Well, be it due to medical reasons or economics, there are a growing number of American households that we consider multi-generational. That's 30, 40, or 50-somethings actually living with the next generation up. Well, with us this week, we have Angela Forshaw-Rouse of AARP, who's providing with us some fabulous tips on how we ladies can continue to live an empowered life, even if we have to live with mom, dad, or better yet, our significant other's mom or dad. It is amazing to me that 49 million Americans have a new kind of household. You know, everyone expects for their parents to take care of them, but no one ever expects to have to take care of mom or dad. And on today, we have the privilege of joining us in the studio, Miss Angela Forshaw-Rouse, who's the Associate State Director of Communications of AARP, to help us understand this new phenomenon. Hello, Angela.
Hello, Yashima. Thanks so much for having me today.
Oh, thanks for being here. You know, it's amazing. We've been, talking to lots of women, and this is really a new trend that's going on in America. Tell us a little bit about what that is all about. Why are there so many multi-generational households?
Well, the term multi-generational households is not really new, but it's been given a greater degree of attention because of the unfortunate economic downturn. But lots of people have to kind of coexist in order to make the ends meet.
Right.
So you have a home where there's grandparents, you have a home where there are boomers and grandchildren. The grandchildren could either be older, the children could either be younger. There's a mix. But, Americans get together to survive. That's what we're known for.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, that's where we get the increase of multi-generational households.
It's so interesting because you're right. We are survivors, right? Survival of the fittest, but it doesn't mean that it's void of stress, because that's what I hear about. We have these professional women who superwoman is becoming a new term. So it's not just wife and mommy and career woman, but it also means caregiver. So talk to us a little bit about some of the tips that AARP has to really address that stress level and coming home to that multi-generational household and just keeping it all together.
Well, as women, our natural ability, we want to be caregivers, and we reach out, especially for boomer women. That's who AARP is really focusing on, because boomer women are sandwich generations. That's what we call them.
Right.
So they may be the generation that's head of household, has the most income, most discretionary income and time. They're taking care of their aging parents that may have health and mobility issues, and they're taking care of their grandchildren and or older children that move back into the nest because of the economic downturn. So stress is everywhere, as you mentioned. However, there are some things that they can do to kind of keep the stress level balanced, if you will. There's always going to be stressors from day to day.
It's managing it. That's
but
right.
The main thing is communication, and planning.
Okay.
If you know you're getting ready to make that move into a multi-generational household, we recommend having a family meeting where everybody decides, that's of age in the household, what are going to be their responsibilities.
Okay.
There may be a situation where whoever makes the most income would want to take care of the mortgage or the rent payments. And somebody that has supplemental income may want to take care of some of the utilities and smaller bills.
Or it may just be ground rules on space, right?
Exactly.
And distance in the house.
Exactly. And as Americans, we love our space. But it's very important for multi-generational households to make sure that there are some privacy boundaries for all of the adult individuals and children that are in the home. Even if you don't live in a grand palatial mansion, you certainly can have common areas where you have time zones, maybe from 8 to 9, it's grandma's time, in the kitchen, and maybe from, 9 to 10 at night, it's mom's time when she comes home to relax after a long day and watch her favorite show or read her favorite book.
But now, isn't it the natural tendency is, the cycle of life, right? We start off as babies, and there's something in us, that human instinct that says as people get older, they go back to that state. So we think we're supposed to care for our mother, our aging father, etc., in a way that we care for our children. And isn't that different?
It is so very different. unless your parents have serious health concerns, you really have to give them their space and let them live their own lives. Remember, they took the time to raise you, so they really have that wisdom and that knowledge for their well-being as well as yours. And living together in a multi-generational household is wonderful because you have the wisdom of your parents, and maybe you can also too have wonderful energy from the younger generation. But remember the parent that raised you and all of the wonderful things they implanted in you. They have that same knowledge base, so trust them, trust their judgment. Obviously, we recommend, looking for signs. If you have signs of forgetfulness from your parents, or wandering, or certain things that may seem a little bit off or off balance, you certainly want to address those concerns. But for the most part, if they're making wise choices and they're responsible, certainly give them the freedom that they've always had their entire life.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
I so appreciate that. So ladies in Delaware Valley, we are Americans and we're rising to the occasion. It's a new day, new time, new household structure. So it's all about managing the stress level, not necessarily getting rid of it completely. So joining forces, taking care of mom and dad, and allowing our children to experience more love in our household sounds like the answer of the day, if you will. So this is Yashima White, Azilove, and note that you've just been empowered.